Inshallah, he will not be. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Dastur madad ya SahibulSaif. Hasbunallah. We're asking support from our Shaykh. How Dajjal is going to, we need to know the enemy. Even those ones, they are very smart. We may take something from them. They say keep your friends close, or keep your enemies closer. That is for who? That is for who? That is for people who are not in heedlessness, who knows that their existence here, they are being surrounded by enemies. Those ones who are awake, because this world is not our home. This world, it is an enemy. Dunya, everything that contains. So don't get fooled. Its aim is to fool you by everything that is glittering, everything that's going to make you, even happiness. Long time ago, I was talking to this person, he's a Baha'i. Talking. He says the whole point is happiness. I said, what's after happiness? He couldn't answer. I said, what's after happiness? Happiness. So, happiness is it? How do you understand to be happiness? Huh? Everyone have different ways of being happy. This one being good makes him happy. This one being a tyrant makes him happy. If you make a good person to become a tyrant, he's going to be unhappy. The other way around too. So everyone has a different way of happiness now. Correct? So who is going to say what it is? I say, what happened to the creator of happiness? What happened to him? We finished that? We didn't finish that. So people who are not asking, then it's very difficult for them to think properly and to understand where we're living and how to protect ourselves. We're living in this dunya. So everything that is in this dunya now, to look with the eyes of what? With the eyes of faith now. It's our enemy. Our desires, it is an enemy. Shaitan is an open enemy. How many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Quran al-Karim, be careful from Shaitan because he is an open enemy. Of course, these days nobody talks about shaitans. Muslims are not talking about shaitans too much. Slowly saying he's not important. That's what Shaitan wants anyway. If there is an open enemy, then there is an enemy that is hidden, that is closed. That is your ego. So these are the four enemies. Look to see. What are we being busy with? Keep your enemies closer. Know what your enemy is doing. So we're concentrating first on the ego. The ego is what? Not outside, it is inside. The first step is to declare war on our ego. How do you declare war on your ego? Once you have a Sheikh, you declare war on your ego. What kind of Sheikh? What kind? The kind of Sheikh that will declare war on your ego. Do you understand? If there is a Sheikh that gives candy, he's not declaring war on your ego. Very difficult for you to declare war on your ego, difficult for you to understand your enemies, difficult for you to keep your enemies closer. Your enemy will fool you with that candy, he will fool you. The Shaykh that is making zikr, even Shaykh doing it, even Shaykh that is giving a sohbat. What kind of sohbat? What kind of sohbat? Oh, it's knowledge. What kind of knowledge? There is knowledge that is malayani. It doesn't concern you. If I'm going to sit down here and talk about the power of a saint, It doesn't concern you. It's interesting. Maybe it boosts your faith up a little bit, but it doesn't concern you. That concerns a saint. What is your concentration on now? Now and again, we have to talk about the saints. We have to talk about the prophets. We have to understand that they are people who are there to help us. They are not ordinary people like us, but that is not the concentration. The Shaykh has to declare war on your ego. Not too many sheikhs like that. That is real work, because every prophet, especially the Holy Prophet ﷺ, he came to declare war on the ego. Once you can defeat that, you will have peace. Peace cannot be. You're going to have peace without declaring war on the ego. It is going to be hypocrisy. Which means what? Eventually it's going to destroy you. It's going to destroy you. So, how is Shaitan going to fool? Shaitan will fool you to say, don't need, your ego is already, you're already finished. No need to talk about the ego anymore. That's low level. Meaning, you've already finished now. You've already made fana, finished. So now we can talk about higher stations because we've achieved those higher stations, correct? Have we achieved that higher station? Then why are they speaking? We don't even know how to enter into a toilet. Now what right do we have? So how Dajjal is going to now, he's going to make confusion. Dajjal is making confusion. He is not going to say there is halal and there is haram. You understand? He's going to say everything is halal. Confusion, like I said before, is not between right and wrong. It is when they take out wrong and they say everything is right. That is the confusion of the Akhir Zaman. That is the confusion of our times. That they say everything is right. Whatever you want to do, it is right. Everything is right. Don't judge. Don't say there is a right and everything is right. So what happens then? Oh, so easy for the ego. So easy for the dunya, the shaitan. Everything now to just make you to do the wrong thing because you're given a free pass. Everything is okay. Which prophet is saying that? The prophets, they came to give hukum, to give a law. Like what we were saying earlier when we were growing up, we say, what is the law on this? What is the law on that? It's very common. In Islam, we say, what is the law? What is the law about eating? We say, eating is like this. This is the best. This is second. This is makruh. And this is haram. There is a law to everything. It's not just, there is a law that we've made up. Millions of books are written about it. Millions of scholars, millions of saints are talking about it. Now, when it comes to tariqat, there is a much more subtle law now. That law, now you have to know, not through reading books. Your heart, the book that you're reading, must tell you which is the best way. That's much faster because you're looking at your Sheikh, which is the reflection of those ones, of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. You're getting directly now. No more now. Now they say, no need law, no need books, any kind of thing that you're doing, it is okay. Don't worry, it is okay. It is not okay. So you have a Shaykh, and the Shaykh is declaring war on your ego, which I'm saying these days you cannot find it. You cannot. Number one, it's too much trouble. Shaykh now has to, you understand what declaring war is? You cannot have a moment's peace. You cannot sleep. You have to sleep with one eye open because you're declaring war. If you're here, the enemy is over there. You're engaged in warfare. Can you sleep? Even if you sleep, can you sleep? No, you cannot. Now, we're looking at the enemy that is more dangerous than that, more subtle from the inside now. Always you have to be busy. That Shaykh now, to do that, He has to teach you not only to declare war on yourselves, he has to declare war on your ego. He has to guide you, he has to be very strong now. To say, move here, don't move over there. That kind of Shaykh, very rare. That kind of Shaykh, how Shaykh was. Definitely. That kind of Shaykh, no fear can move him, no grief can move him, no power can move him, no money can pay him. He's not looking for anything. That's why he's a warrior. That's why he's a Ghazi. He was, and he's a Shaheed. That's a time we become a real Shaheed. When you're declaring war against your ego, and you die when you're declaring war against your ego, that's why you being a martyr at that time is much higher than the one who is declaring war physically. And who is interested in these days for that? Who is interested in these days for a Shaykh to say, you have evil inside of you? Who is interested? 99.9% of the Muslims, they are going to say, what are you talking about? I say Shahadat, I don't have ego, I don't have evil. I say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. They're not even going to believe. Some who believe, just by lips, they believe. Because now, dealing with this declaration of war against your ego, there is no manual, there is no book. You cannot read something that Imam al-Ghazali wrote hundreds of years ago and open it and trying to do it. You cannot. The same way that you cannot open up something that has to do with eye surgery 800 years ago and open it up and try to perform that eye surgery on yourself. You cannot. You always have to have that doctor that is going to take and is going to use it. He has that training and he has that permission to use it now. So now you have one. How is the ego, how is the Dajjal going to trick? By saying, at this point in our association, in reality, Dajjal cannot trick you. If you are going to make a detour, you already have that inside of you from a long time ago. It's only coming out when the Dajjal is there. So you cannot even blame him yourself. You cannot blame him. You've always had that suspicion. You've always had that doubt. You've always had that arrogance. You've always had that stubbornness. Not about little things, major things now. Major things. That's why those ones who are saying to me, who are you? You are nothing. In reality, they have that. They said that about Shaykh Efendi too. They're just too frightened to say it when he is living. Now that he passed, you see, he can say it to me, so we're watching. No, we're really following Shaykh Efendi. What would Shaykh Efendi say? But we're looking pretty soon. They even drop their love and their respect to Shaykh Efendi. And they're hanging out with people now, listening to all the poisons that people are saying about Shaykh Efendi. Those ones saying Shaykh Efendi is like this, all kind of slander, you know. Now they're sitting and they're being friends with them. Allah. Then slowly we see, oh, okay. Then they say, you know, we love Shaykh Efendi, but he's not the only Shaykh. There's so many other Shaykhs, there's so many higher Shaykhs. That slowly, we know this story. We've read this story so many times. But it applies to us. We have that. Get rid of it. Don't hide it. You cannot hide it. Not now, Jamad anyway. You cannot. At least he has given me permission to root it out. During Shaykh Efendi's time, oh, so many. Correct or no? But the work that I'm doing is slightly different. Of course, I'm not claiming anything. So, how are we going to stop ourselves now? Look to see. Are you still holding on tightly? Or are you hanging on loosely? Are you letting all the other voices, all the other sohbats in your head about yourself, other things telling you other than the voice of your Shaykh, overtake you? Yes, you are. Are you doing anything about it? Nothing. It doesn't take a genius or a saint to know at the end of that road is a split. Finish. And very easy now for the Dajjal to trick you because you're looking for something else. Of course, there are people who left our Jamad. I'm sure they're saying to themselves, I feel so free. I feel so free. Never in my life I feel so free. Before, I cannot do this, I cannot do this, I cannot do this, I cannot even listen to other sheikhs or read other books. Now I feel so free. I say, good. Because this world is a prison for the believers. If you're a believer, this world is a prison. A soldier sitting down, waiting for the enemy to strike, or the enemy is already striking, he is the one who is the most not free. He is not free to do nothing. He is not even free to look away from where the enemy is, correct? You cannot. What happens if you do that? He'll kill you. He'll kill those around you. Understand what we're doing. Remind yourselves what we're doing. We're here to remind you. As long as you're interested, as long as you're listening, we know who's listening and who's not listening, then you'll be all right. Because if you're declaring war against your ego, following your Shaykh, you can that time declare war against Dajjal. Very easy. Because your ego is more powerful than Dajjal. But if you're not declaring war in your ego, you don't know how to fight Dajjal. You're just going to follow him. He's going to show so many wonderful things. You think the sheikhs, whatever they're speaking about now, is anything compared to what Dajjal is going to speak? Oh, he's going to turn your head inside out with the knowledge that he has. He's not going to speak from books. He's not. Allah is going to give him that power to speak. So, hold on tightly. Understand yourself. That time you can hold yourself against the confusion that is going to come. There is no confusion in our way. There is no confusion in our Sheikh's teachings. But it's very clear. Either you like it or you don't like it. That's all. Nobody can be confused. You like it, stay. You don't like it, go. For you and for me. May Allah forgive me and bless you. Al-Fatiha.